If you want to get rich, collect passive income, and spend your time with your family doing what you actually want to do instead of working, the only thing you need to understand is how to find the best investment property. In this video, I'm sharing the exact mental model I use with all of my private clients to find them the best property in their city. They don't have to do it. I do it for you, but I like to explain how it works anyway. So let's jump into my brain for these two examples.
So this one's first, and it's $385, just had a price cut. It's been on the market for 101 days, which is a really long time. So either the seller was stuck at their price of $400K before the price cut, and now they're realizing they're not getting offers and they cut it, and it's what's called a stigmatized listing. So after the listing is on the market for like 20, 25 days, it becomes stigmatized in the buyer's mind, meaning that it's easy to look at it and be like, oh, this is on the market for 35 days. No one else wanted it. There's probably something wrong. And so especially when it gets to 100 days and they didn't drop the price until it probably hit like 70, 75 days. So they're kind of like fighting against themselves now. And being on the market for that long, it's going to take somebody that's like a pretty serious investor to analyze those numbers and be like, okay, maybe the house isn't destroyed. Maybe it's just a stigmatized property that had a bad listing originally, might still be listed above what it should be, and it's just not getting the traction that it could or should. And so I like it though. I'm looking through, and so this is back in Olathe, which I think would be a possibility for you to do the house hack. If that, obviously that's what we want to do. If it's what makes most financial sense first, then that's what we would do. It's pretty updated though. It looks like clearly they took some time to update the place. This side doesn't have the LPV floors, which I mean, that's fine. But the thing that I like most about it, well, first of all, both sides are currently rented, but also there are 3 bedrooms on both sides. 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, 1 car garage in each. The square footage isn't shown, so I can't see how big they are, which would be one of the last things that I'd need to verify to make sure that I want to recommend like touring this one. But the fact that they're both rented already and the fact that it's 3 bedrooms puts you at a advantage immediately rather than a 2-bedroom or a 1-bedroom. And I'll explain that, like I said, the price gap in a second. This was the second one. This one is a little bit more expensive, but it's in Lenexa, which I know that's definitely in Johnson County. They're both in Johnson County. That's the only places I've been looking. But this one's $460, so obviously it's getting more expensive. It's more expensive though because it has the 2 bathrooms. It's probably bigger. But it's been on the market for 22 days too. So it's starting to become stigmatized, which I've been looking for those ones more because it will allow the price fluctuation, obviously. This one has a tenant already generating $1,650 per month in income. And so when I look at that, typically you want to run numbers like looking at this anyway as if you were putting down 20 or 25% because that's how investors will run the numbers. So even if you're doing the house hacking move, you want to first know, would it be a good investment property if you weren't doing the house hacking move? And so $1,650 per month, obviously the estimated Zillow numbers like aren't perfect, but it's easy to do like the quick and dirty, just trying to get an idea. So we'll call it $29,50 minus $1,650 would be you paying $1,300 if you put down 20%, which $1,300 for what looks like a really nice place is pretty good. Also, if it was $1,650 times 2, that would obviously be $3,300, so you'd be cash flowing. Not to think about this as this price either because it's been on for over 20 days, so it's definitely flexible. They'll probably have a price drop in the next 2 weeks if they want to get some tours going on in there. I think Lenexa is one of the nicer areas because when I looked at it in terms of the rent prices, it was definitely on the higher side. So let me know what you think about Lenexa compared to Olathe. Okay, so then scrolling down to the bottom, just to look at some of the data, 4 bedrooms, so it was 2 and 2. The size in square feet of the lot is massive. So I don't know what that looks like behind or if you could throw a garage back there and get some extra rents on like storage. It's obviously zoned for a multifamily and a duplex. There is a wood roof. So this is giant. It just makes me think like there's extra income potential back there. And I don't know what it looks like or what that could be, but just throwing ideas out there. Taxes are super low. 2000 is really nice. They sold it back in 2011. So in 14 years, you got a 300% price increase. So that tells me that the area is going up significantly. 115 to 230 would obviously be a double, and then 230 to 460 is a second double in those 10 years. So you got a 2 double in 10 years rather than a single double. Great area in terms of mentality. And then lastly, if we switch this to 5%, clearly this goes up to 37.17 when we do that. And then minus the 1650 would put you around 2000. I think that is cheaper than what you're paying now for rent, which I told you was the goal, was to bring your monthly payment down if we were going to do this as the house hack. So this brings your payment down. Also allows you to start paying towards your own place, not somebody else's place. And you do know that $1,650 is the minimum since somebody already pays that there. And if you lived here for a year or two, that would go up. This side would go up. And you would then be close or at the break-even number when you move out. But remembering that you put 5% down, not 25%. So the break-even number in 2 years, like I said, this is the lowest that rents will ever be. So in 2 years from now, they'll be higher. You'll be at the break-even number. And then remember, the appreciation was 300% over the last 10 years, which is crazy. I mean, I don't know if 300% will ever happen again, obviously, in 10 years. But if it's 150% in 5 years, you're sitting at another investment of $700,000, right? And then it's rinse and repeat on the pull out, expand, pull out, expand. So anyway, that's with 5% down. If we wanted to go to 7% down, that's $36.50. I don't see a giant change in that, so I'd say keep your cash, go with 5% down. Take a less monthly payment, and it's your own, not somebody else's. It's also relatively nice, right? So I don't see many upgrades needing to happen immediately. Maybe you move into this side and paint it the normal neutral colors while you're living there. But definitely something to explore, especially since it's been on the market. I know 460 is a little steep, but it's in the right area. It's appreciating like crazy. And you have one of the units rented out already. Okay, back to this one and what I wanted to show you in terms of price jump. And when you're looking, how I analyze if a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom would make more sense or more money or more long-term value. So this is 3, right? This is 3 bedrooms, been on the market for 110 days, stigmatized listing, all of that. And so I want to look exactly where it is on the map. When I'm looking, here's like that little turn. So we're in the southern area here, like Olati, and then down towards the right of it, right along the major highway here. So I'm going to go back, and then I'm going to flip to for rent instead of for sale. I don't have anything selected for bedrooms yet, but I'm just going to look more in terms of that area that we were looking like in the south here. I'm going to pull my screen over. So if I look at exact match of 1 bedroom, I can look in the area and I'm just looking for averages, like mental averages. When you see it, it's easy to see. So I'll explain what that means. But essentially, if I'm looking in this area, I got 1.1, 1.1, 1. We'll call this 1, 950, 985, 1.1, right? So basically, you can say that 1.1 is the average for a 1-bedroom. Then we jump to 2-bedroom. And looking at 2-bedroom, we see, okay, 1.3, 1.3, 1.2, 1.8, 1.7, 1.3, 1.2. So if we're taking the average of all of those mentally quickly, it's probably 1.3. And so going from 1-bedroom to 2 bedrooms, outside of looking at all the square footage and niceness and upgraded and amenities, like we're just looking at averages right now. So obviously the difference between this 1.3 and this 1.7 could be that this one's 950 square feet, but it's relatively upgraded. This one is 1,100 square feet, so it's smaller, but it has 2 bathrooms and it's more expensive. So I want to stick with the 1.3 number, like I said. Then we jump to 3. And now you're like, okay, 1.9, 1.6, 1.9, 2.3, 1.6, 1.8, 1.5, 2.3. Now you're starting to see the jump. we went from 1, which was 1 to 1.1. Then we went to 2 bedrooms, which is now 1.3. I mean, we're pushing 1.7. Maybe we get it. Then you see 3. You're like, okay, 1.9, 2.3. Now we're talking, right? And a lot of times the jump will either happen between 2 and 3 or 1 and 2. It's a city by city thing, depending on what type of people want to live there, how long they want to live there. Do they have a family yet? Is it young professionals? Are they married? Like, those demographics come into play. But the jump will happen between the jump will happen between one bedroom to 2 bedrooms, or 2 bedrooms to 3 bedrooms typically. Then, 4 obviously starts pushing it, but still you're looking at the low 2s, right, with 4 bedrooms. So to me, the biggest increase comes from 2 to 3. Now, does that come with a price increase of that same jump? Or does it come with because 2 bedrooms to 3 bedrooms, the house might be the same size in terms of square footage, but now we're getting an extra bedroom, maybe the layout's better. Again, these are all just mental things to check for to when you're analyzing, okay, should we tour this, right? That's what it comes down to. Should we tour this? Will tenants rent it? How much can I get for it? What's the data look like? And so from 2 to 3 shows me that there's a jump there. I'm not saying that 2 bedrooms and a 2-bedroom place that's $75,000 cheaper is a bad move, because if the data shows it cash flows and it's getting good rents and it's upgraded and you're getting 1.7, like, I'm never going to say no to that. But in the Olathe area, specifically in this southeast portion of Olathe, the jump happens from 2 to 3. And so that's why I wanted to show this one specifically, because it's 3 bedrooms. So it comes after that jump. It's had a price decrease to $385. Been on the market for 101 days, stigmatized listing. So it tells me, okay, just like the other people, what's wrong with it? Why has it been there for so long? And if it's not, each unit rents for, let's call it 1.9, right? Because we got 2s, we got 1.6s, we got 1.9s price anchoring it. Let's call it 1.9 2,000. The mortgage is $2,400. So even if this was not a house hack move, $2,400, you're paying almost the full thing with one tenant. They are both currently occupied. So I'm curious of what the current rental rates are. Maybe that's pulling it back if there's still a long lease where the tenants aren't paying market rent or something. That would be something that we have to explore, obviously. But knowing that the future rental rates are $1,500 cash flow with 20% down, that's an incredible investment. So that's why I like that one. And then I obviously showed you the other one that I liked in Lexica as well. That one was the 2 bedrooms, and I've explained the reasonings that I like that, and that one could obviously be the house hack because that seemed to be more of where you wanted to live. And that one just lined up better to house hack for me in my mind mentally. But hope this helps. Let me know what you think about everything, kind of what I broke down from what you sent to me, then what I broke down just kind of in terms of what I was looking for and what I found. Obviously, we are very early on, and we do need to, I saw that you are cranking through your Notion 100-day roadmap, so that's great.